So we're going to take a step away from the programming today to talk about something else that I get a lot of questions about, and something that's pretty, it's been a problem in my own training as well. And that's dealing with bad workouts. So everybody has had a bad workout where something doesn't go right. They miss lifts, maybe they even get hurt, maybe they just feel like shit, and there was nothing really they could point out it was wrong with the workout, but it sucked. And those days can be really frustrating. You get down on yourself, and it can get to the point where you get stuck in this rut where it's like, man, I just keep having bad workout after bad workout after bad workout. And you get really frustrated to the point where, you take a break or you quit or, something happens. Maybe you do get hurt. It doesn't have to be like that. It's really tricky dealing with bad workouts, but it is possible to be able to step out of that cycle of negativity and actually look at a bad workout as an opportunity for growth, just like a good workout. And we're going to talk about that today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the reason why you have bad workouts. And it's actually very simple. You go to the gym, usually you have a purpose in mind, right? If you're a powerlifter, maybe you have numbers that you want to hit on a squat, bench press, or deadlift. If you're a bodybuilder, maybe you have a muscle group that you're trying to get a sick pump in. If you do something else, maybe you're a runner and you want to increase your 5K time. You have a bad workout and let's say you miss those numbers or you get slower or you go into the gym and everything's flat and you look like shit and you're just like, God damn, I suck. So when that happens, what you're experiencing is called cognitive dissonance. It's when our expectations for what our performance in the workout, they don't match up with reality. When that happens, we feel negative feelings, we feel negative emotions, things like frustration and anger and sadness or however you feel after a shitty workout. That cognitive dissonance for many people results in your body releasing stress hormones, right? Cortisol, other stuff, whatever the case may be. Those stress hormones do two things. First, they increase our negative feelings, right? You've probably experienced this when your body feels tight or run down or tired or whatever the case may be. Emotionally, you also feel the same way. You feel shitty or sick or tired, however, in your head as well as in your body. The other thing is that they're then going to decrease our performance for the next time, right? I got all this cortisol going through my body, so I'm going to have higher levels of muscle atrophy. My recovery is going to be impaired. I'm going to go back to the gym next time. I'm going to be pissed off about my workout. I'm going to try to go even harder. And we get stuck in this feedback loop, right? So, bad workout, cognitive dissonance, stress hormones, more bad workouts. Now this is exacerbated when you're if you're a powerlifter or a bodybuilder, when you're in the depth of your training cycle, right? You're in the hardest part. Maybe you're right before a deload, right before a meet, maybe you're right before a show, you're dieting really hard. Your training itself is causing your body to release these stress hormones. You've already taken a big step in this direction of negative feedback. So there's two things we can do to step out of it. The first is that we can take a deload, right? If you are the case where you're in a very difficult point in your training cycle, you take that deload, it gets rid of some of the physical things that are causing you to be stuck in your cycle. So instead of having this, right, this is training stress, that's just adding to this loop. If we cut this out, right, that's going to help to decrease our stress, to help decrease the number of bad workouts we have. You can also, and I think this is a more effective way for most people, right? Because you design a training cycle, it's very hard to say, okay, well, let me adapt. If I'm 2 weeks out of a meet, I can't really take a deload, right? So the other thing is to address this cognitive dissonance right here. And I recommend that you do that with meditation. It's not necessary. But basically what we're trying to do, you have this bad workout, right? You're probably going to have those feelings of negativity. You're going to feel frustrated or feel angry or whatever. The trick is to realize when you're having those feelings and be able to look at them as feelings, not as the be-all, end-all of your training, right? Those feelings are based entirely upon your perspective, right? Go back to that expectation versus reality. If we hadn't expected to have a killer workout in the first place, we wouldn't have this cognitive dissonance. And once you're able to realize that, and once you're able to kind of step back from the situation and be like, oh, well, I feel frustrated because I expected XYZ and it didn't happen. It really helps to take this step out of the equation as well. And once we're able to take this step out of the equation, we can't have this cycle in the first place. That's easier said than done, and that's why I highly recommend that you use meditation if you struggle with this, right? Because it's something that takes practice. It takes lots and lots of practice, especially if the gym is something important to you, especially if you're training something that's important to you. To perform at a high level, you have to care a lot, right? Your motivation is coming from how important the activity is to you. And so if the activity is not going the way you want, you're going to have these negative feelings. They go hand in hand. You can't get rid of that. You can only recognize it for what it is and prevent it from affecting you in the future. You shouldn't try and eliminate those feelings completely. They're healthy feelings. They're just showing that, hey, this is a really important activity to me. This is something that I do care about, and I am frustrated, but that's all right. It's okay to be frustrated sometimes. So I'm going to include some resources below if you do struggle with this. And I'd also really appreciate if you guys have advice, on dealing with a bad workout, what you do to kind of get around it. I mean, there's other ways that you can. Obviously, you can go eat a pizza or see a movie or whatever. And there's actually a lot of good research that shows that if you can have some type of form of relaxation outside of whatever this activity is, that it can really help to escape this feedback loop as well, right? So if you love listening to music or hanging out with friends or singing in the shower, I don't fucking know. Something that you get a lot of enjoyment out of, that can help to counteract these stress hormones as well. But it's important that you choose wisely, right? Like, again, binge eating, whatever other habits that you have, they might not be the best way. They might have other negative consequences. So just be mindful of that as well. But I think that that's something that you can incorporate into your training that's not really hard, right? It's not like this takes a lot of thought or effort to program. It's just you have to be mindful, you have to practice it. But it's not tricky or complicated. And so it can really, really help to improve your performance over time and to improve the enjoyment that you get out of training.